Bunch of different springs.
Okay, we got it.
Spring has sprung.
Yeah.
Love
With
that.
Yeah, Chuck's got a whole menagerie of fun
Yeah,
stuff
you
there.
have to stop by sometime. It's got a house full of crazy stuff.
Looks like Fibber McGee's closet back there, for God's sakes.
Yeah,
And that's the most clear space in his house, by the way.
that's right.
So it's pretty crazy. But okay, yeah. Well, welcome to SongNet, everybody online, and those of you watching the archive later on. Tonight we have a very special guest, Petr Doell, who's been instrumental in a lot of different things. He started off as a musician, actually, and he's been in this industry for a long time. Before the meeting started, we were talking about some of his experiences with some guy named Frank Sinatra. You know, I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not.
Who cares?
But, you know, it's been pretty amazing. Some really good stuff has been happening in this industry. He's seen a lot of changes, and he knows what sounds good and what sounds like, well, not so good. So we're excited to have him here. And
you know what sounds good? You know what sounds good, Jimmy, if I may interrupt, is when you pronounce my name correctly. It's Dell.
Doell, thank you. Okay, so Petr Doell, and he's going to be talking a whole lot about stuff in relationship to your music. And wow, all of a sudden everybody's been hitting this thing here. I'm allowing people to come in. So for those of you who are a little bit late, well, we know you're musicians, so that's fine. Okay. So Peter, tell us how you got started and what you did. I mean, you were a bass player that I know of, but even before that, I'm sure you had some reasons why you started playing bass, and then how you wound up where you're at right now with the mastering and everything.
Yeah, I came from a kind of a musical family, and my eldest brother got me into like building hi-fis and stuff, and this is like 1960. And you know, like I say, had a musical background, and then I got bit by the electronics bug by him. And I was fortunate that I was like 6'1" and 165 in like 7th or 8th grade already. So I was playing in bars and no one ever challenged me, you know, because I was tall. You look like you could pass. And so when I went to college, although I started in a pre-med program, I had the foolish idea that I wanted to be an MD. I had a band, and we opened up for all sorts of big artists that would come through, the Moody Blues, John Mayall, Canned Heat, all, you know, this is that era, you know, 1970 or something. And when I ended up switching degree program, I got a degree in electronic music composition. Okay, try to make a living doing that, unless you wanted to go be in academia. So I took a left and went back into music. I was a performer. I moved to Boston, and I was doing all sorts of crazy things. I got to play with the Boston Pops. I played with all sorts of jazz things. I played all sorts of society. The last couple of years, I lived in a tuxedo and played society music. Then I moved out to Los Angeles in 1980, and I was an engineer in the studio by day and a bass player by night. And did all sorts of stupid stuff, and ultimately, the recording engineer seemed markedly more stable, more calm, but that's obviously an illusion. And the studio work is hardly, you know, stable or calm. But I did get, I was a staff engineer at a place called Wally Heider's. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that place. Wally was a fantastic guy and had a huge facility in San Francisco, as well as down here. And it was a great training ground. I worked there for only a year or two. And then I worked for Sunset Sound, which is another great place. Worked there for a couple of years. And then I moved over to Capitol Records and worked there for 15 years. And, you know, saw all sorts of crazy changes in the technology, certainly. You know, growing up, I was a total analog tape person. And I guess it was 99 when I left Capitol for Sony Pictures. That was the first time that the whole technology shifted to digital. With Pro Tools, you could lock a picture up, which is, of course, what all the music was subservient to picture. So there was a bit of that. And then ultimately, I worked at Universal Mastering Studios. And I guess part of the reason I went there is because they were the same union that I was in at Sony Pictures. So between 3 or 4 years at Sony and then 13 years at Universal, I got 16 years in the union, which means after 15 years, you get vested. So my wife and I have the health insurance for life. You get a little bit of a pension. It's hardly anything to write home about. But as an old fart boy, having somebody else pay the health insurance is a blessing. You can't believe what a blessing it is. But I'm still working, and I'm happy to, happy to work with established artists. Like this past year, I was up for a couple of Grammys with the Manhattan Transfer, their new record, and I did Peter Erskine Trio with Alan Pasqua and Dara Coles. That was a great record. And, I'm still in here, but I do tons of indies. And, the indies really need more love from people like, who've seen the movie before. So I'm happy to be here.
All right. Oops.
If I stop too soon, should I buy more time?
No. That's perfect. I just got even more people that were saying they didn't get the link, and I don't know why that is. So I'm working on that right now, and I'm sending a link while we're doing this. Steve is busy uploading some of the stuff that got sent in late, but that's okay because we're musicians, and that's kind of what happens, right? Anyway, yeah, we're really thankful for you to be here. Let's see what's this going on now.
Pierre is asking, what does tons of indies mean? That means independents, people who aren't signed to a big record label deal.
What does it mean that you do them? Like, do you produce them or?
No. I just master them.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So I get everything, like from the real high price studios and everything, but I also get a lot of people who, make music in their bedrooms. Now, some people are, doing great stuff in their home studio or bedroom or whatever. And then there's some that aren't.
Yeah, we had Ron McMaster as our most recent guest, and he kind of explained what mastering is. Let's get your take on what mastering is real quick.
Well, in a perfect world, mastering is trying to eke the last bit of intent from the composer or the performer.
Ron McMaster is our most recent guest, and
Oh, yeah, no, there's somebody who wasn't muted.
So, to me, the mastering is your last chance to get the last drop of intent from the song, from either the writer or the arranger, perhaps, or the performer, right? Sometimes there's all this intent of excitement, but the mix that you get just kind of lays there like a dog, right? So it's my job, as I see it, is to imbue some excitement into it. Sometimes that means as simple as, like hyping up the choruses, just making it a little bit louder, not like crazy different loud, but just enough so that you feel a lift, right? Or sometimes you'll do like a little widening or some kind of spatial something or other that tickles your ears for the chorus or the bridge or the solo, just to put some life into something that could use it. Sometimes you, like when I was sitting in on your thing, that was Monday night when you had the open mic thing, right?
Yeah, at Kulak's, right.
And there were some great songs there. And I thought to myself, boy, that would be great if you could toughen that up with a rock arrangement or this, hard to stop thinking that way. But it's good.
No, that's really good. And what's interesting too is that you're doing all this without a remix. And I'm sure sometimes you do get something to master that really needs a remix. Do you tell people that? So every now and then when it comes up?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When people when they have the goods, they have a good song, but they could do themselves and me a favor by most common ones are people are mixing in their bedroom studio. They think they have the right amount of bass, and it's either way too much or way too little. Same with the voice. They think the voice level is really perfect, but what does Eddie sing in the second verse? There's all sorts of things when people, and it happens to all of us, where you think you have it nailed, but you don't. Which is why people who master their own mixes, if you think mastering is simply making it loud, right, and putting in the ISRC so you get paid for the piece of music you just wrote, that's not it completely, And when I was a mixer, I wouldn't really want to master something that I had mixed. I want somebody who's, hasn't been sitting with it for 12, 15 hours. They just react to it with a fresh ear, and they see the forest, not the individual trees, if you get that distinction, right? Because the first impression you get is the forest. Wow, this is a beautiful place to be, as opposed to need to really, you get my point.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what we want to hear. And because of that, you've actually been able to hear great music before it's actually perfect great music. And that's exciting because you're the one that kind of brings it into that realm where, it sounds good, but it's not perfect. And then when you're done with it, then it sounds like something that everybody wants to have. So that's exciting.
Well, let's hope.
I have a question.
Okay, Steve, how are we doing on the uploads?
Let me just add one little thing. Go ahead, Steve. You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, I haven't actually received anything else. So I'm not sure why that is, but are they sending it to the right email address? I guess is my question. Let me double check a couple things.
Okay, yeah. Stephen Palmadero said he sent something, we didn't get a response.
Oh, I got his. I got his. Yeah.
Okay, and then
I thought I sent him a link.
All right, and then Michael Kohlross also he said he sent it, but it has a Rafu tag on there.
I'll send it again now, just in case.
Yeah, it's the SongNet Showcase at Gmail.
I have a question for Peter.
Sure.
Peter, have you ever mastered something and then later changed your mind about it and wanted to make a different change?
Constantly. I mean, you always hear something that, oh, how did I miss that? So absolutely you do. But there's always, when you're hearing something, it takes a minute. It takes a few listens really to get into the head of the guy writing it or singing it or whatever. So you're on the same wavelength and you want to try to bring that intent forward in the sound, but you don't always get on the first listen,
Peter, can I ask you a question?
I wish you would.
So like with the Manhattan Transfer, did they just give you a stereo track, or do you have some kind of stem breakout, or what?
Just stereo, baby.
Yeah.
No, I really don't like to be given stems because it gives you the opportunity to really fuck up the approved mix, right? There are some occasions where, this is your one shot to get this because it is going to be, sent to the plant the next day, say, or something. And boy, you could really use some more bass, or the snare is like, what? You know what I mean? That there's some obvious unbalanced important element, and it would be great. But normally, I certainly don't request those. Now, back in the day when we did attended sessions, I haven't done an attended session since the pandemic started 3 fucking years ago, Don't really want people 2 feet from me all day if I can avoid that. So,
So also in a case like that, the end result is a CD or a vinyl or a different mastering approach for the outputs, different outputs?
Well, actually, the only thing that I think about like doing vinyl, and I do not cut vinyl, but I often prepare masters that go to be cut into vinyl, where I'll make one wave file that's all of side A, right? And you give them a PQ sheet so they'll know exactly where the tracks start and stop. But with vinyl, I don't know if you guys, you can stop me if you already know this. As you get to, let's say okay, let's start here. To get a loud record with bass and everything, you're probably going to want to keep it to like 20 minutes aside. That's a 40-minute record. And, you know, when some people come in and they got like an 80-minute CD's worth of stuff, you're talking about a double record, unless you want the level to be way low, right? So that's one thing to consider. The other thing is that on a turntable with the regular, you know, with the arm anchored in one spot, and then the arm follows from the outer groove all the way to the label. As it gets to the label, there's more distortion. So you don't want to have the loudest or the song with the most bass in the interior of the side. You want to put those suckers on the outside, right? And you don't want to have like, okay, it's 12 songs, so 6 and 6. Well, as it turns out, if you add up tracks 1 through 6, it's 24 minutes, but the other 6 add up to 12 minutes. That's no good, because the 24-minute side, you're going to have to turn way down. And you know what I mean? So you have to think about a bunch of different things when you're cutting vinyl. I mean, even assembling the order, the sequence for, so you may have to toss a couple tracks. There's all sorts of crap you have to think about with vinyl that you don't have to think about at all with streaming, you know? But I'll say one thing about streaming that has done a great service to music in general. It's the volume wars. We've kind of gotten away from the volume wars that we had in the 90s and earlier this century. In that if you have a hyper compressed, super fucking loud track and they try to stream it, they're going to turn it down. So now you sound wimpy compared to the other stuff that's being streamed before and after you. That's not so good. So in today's mastering, we try to make something sound loud, but still dynamic and punchy, so that no matter what you play it on, earbuds, your car, or anywhere, that it sounds exciting and full and great, you know?
Peter, did you say PQ sheet? PQ?
I did.
Yeah, what is that?
That is a sheet of paper that shows all the time. Well, it shows the sequence, right? And the exact time in milliseconds, you know, in minutes, frames, and subframes for the start and end of every track. And it'll also show you the ISRC code. You guys know what that is? International Standard Recording Code. It's a 13-digit thing that gets embedded in the WAV file. And the reason it's there is because if you wrote the song, it'll come back to you. They'll know who to send the check to.
If I may jump in, I'll
Yes,
give you a thumbnail sketch, and perhaps you can offer a tiny bit of advice. There's a track I've been working on that I'm completely vexed by. I was in a touring group for quite a number of years, and we have one track we've been working on, and it just doesn't travel well.
What does that mean?
It means, like, if I play it on our monitors, sounds great, but then in the car, it sounds crummy. In the headphones, it sounds crummy. If I play it on a different stereo, it sounds terrific, and then in headphones, it sounds like crap. And I just don't know if it's the distance, or I'm wondering if you have any sort of quick off-the-cuff advice I might try.
Well, did you mix it yourself?
I did.
And are you listening? Here's what I suggest when people tell me a saga like what you just said.
Saga.
It is. Yeah. If you're starting to mix a song in a certain genre, a certain style, right? You play in this in the seat you're sitting in over the monitors you're about to mix in, you play a record that you know and that you hopefully admire in the style of music that you're about to mix, right? And you'll get, wow, this is a good impression. Boy, or you'll say, boy, I'm surprised that the voice isn't as loud as, or the bass is really kind of boomy. You know what I mean? You'll be able to deduce that perhaps what the acoustics of the room you're in are fooling you, or the speakers are fooling you. That's most likely to be the thing if things don't translate to all these different listening situations. It's possibly that you're getting fooled at the outset.
I tried that, exactly that. The track I chose was Learning to Fly by Tom Petty.
Yes.
Every other track that I've mixed and mastered in that, it's a little room. It's not the most ideal mixing situation. Everything sounds great, except that one. And I chose the Tom Petty track because it's kind of a similar thing with lots of acoustic guitars and drums and people carrying on. Okay, I'll keep stabbing at it. I'll get Jimmy over here to listen to it.
Jimmy Iovine?
Everything.
Hey, can I surf?
Jimmy Iovine would be really good, not me, but
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Peter.
Yeah, but seriously, consider that. And the other thing is, consider listening. Like in my world, I only have the volume control at one spot, and I have a dim button. So if I have to answer the phone, or if I really want to see what the thing is going to hold up like on the radio or anywhere, I hit dim. Right, so it drops it like 30 dB or whatever. And that will, believe it or not, reveal a lot. So consider that while you're mixing. You get a balance that you think, wow, this sounds like I'm really in there now. And then hit dim and see if stuff starts to kind of fall apart. That's, and that's when compression can be your friend. I don't mean necessarily compressing the whole mix, but like the individual elements, like the voice, say the bass, or the guitars, or background, something, so it sits where you want it, no matter how loud you play.
I learned the compression lesson quite some time ago. I play a Hofner violin bass, and
now we're talking.
That goes all over the place. So compression is definitely your savior.
Yeah, right. Good for you.
I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, one other thing for myself that I've noticed too is that when I do a mix, quite often, a lot of newer consoles and software don't have a mono button essentially, but that I've found is very critical, especially after one time when the Alesis MIDI Verb first came out, and I thought, wow, this is a great little unit. And then when I was doing the mix and I hit the mono, all of a sudden all the reverb went away. Turned out that the guys at Alesis didn't think about mono. So when I hit the mono button, one of the channels on a lot of presets were out of phase. So I just canceled it. Yeah, I canceled it completely. So there's no reverb at all. I said, what the heck? So I called my friends at Alesis, and they said, oh, man, we didn't know.
Sorry, man.
So anyway, Dave had a question.
Let me just follow up what you just said about the phase thing. Because a lot of times I'll get mixes where, rather than have another guitar player, the guy will do his first pass and pan it over to the left, and then he'll do his second pass and pan it over to the right. But, unless you have a little bit, it's almost hard to have it sound wide, and that your ear gets tickled differently unless there's a bit of what we used to do back in the tape days is we'd slow the tape machine down to do the double on the other side by, just a couple of cents. I mean, really minimal. But when you played them back together, it was like, oh, you got a natural chorusing kind of effect, So there's all sorts of tricks like that you can do to kind of, make the sound stage be more interesting and not fold, back into nothingness when you add them together in mono. Yeah.
Peter, do you work at all in surround?
I do. Well, I don't anymore. When I used to work in doing motion picture stuff, of course, we did 5.1 all day long. But no, I'm a stereo man. Happy to be here.
Dave had a question that he put in the chat. Dave, why don't you go ahead and unmute?
Yeah, Peter, I've got to ask. So, some of your expertise, do you
Uh-oh.
still use a reference track when you're mastering something, or are your ears just so tuned in? And then, if I could sneak in a few others, do you pay attention to like loudness meters? Do you use RMS? Do you use LUFS? I mean, what are your thoughts about all of that?
I think for a lot of people, that's a really good thing. But get back to your first question about the reference track. If I know I'm going to do a certain style of music I haven't done in a few weeks, absolutely. But I always encourage, especially with somebody I haven't worked with before, look, send me, well, this is mostly true if it's a single, right? Send me what you've been listening to. In other words, if you send me an elevated mix that, everybody loves, but you put it through an L2 and like crushed it to get it up to a volume that's competitive with everything else you're going to play on your car radio. I want to hear that, but I also want the uncrushed flat mix. And if there's a record that, boy, I really wish it would have the impact or the color of this, send me that too. Then, that gives me a lot of stuff to work with. But as far as all those other things about LUFS and RMS, no. I don't pay attention to that stuff anymore because like Tidal has one thing, all these different platforms have their own little targets. And I have yet to, well, I take that back. Once about 6-7 years ago, I did get a comment from an artist that's saying, hey, they turned my thing down because what you sent was too loud, But other than that, no.
Okay.
I think you were possibly not even here quite yet when we were talking about that, where, I don't really optimize or don't, listen to something on earbuds or like what the car is going to be like. Although, this is another quick aside. Steven Slate, Slate Digital, he's got a set of headphones with software that'll make it sound like you're listening in the car, or you're listening on earbuds, or you're listening in, Sunset Sound Studio 2, or, all these famous studios. Pretty amazing. They promised to send me some. I'm dying to hear them, but I haven't gotten here quite yet. But that would be very useful, especially if you're mixing at home or wherever, I think.
Okay. And then since I'm still kind of a newbie at all of this, I mean, I've heard people talk about using like a frequency analyzer to keep your eyes on things that your ears might miss. And then maybe like a website for Sound Gym to train your ears. Do you have any suggestions about training my rookie ears to hear frequencies better?
I'm a knucklehead. I'm sorry. I don't, just listen to as much music as you can. And I would say listen to as much, well, I was about to say listen to as much recorded music because that's what you're trying to deal with. You're not trying to like go to the Mint, the club here in LA, for example, and make that sound, that washy, live off the stage sound in your studio work.
Thank you.
You do mostly like a certain kind of music? Is it all your music, for example?
Yeah, I'm just writing my own stuff and trying to do everything at home. Basically, guitar, bass, drums, and well, today's song, I tried my hand to see if Logic Pro's MIDI files, would pass in the real world or not. So I've got several of those and some MIDI files, and then some of the Spitfire Audio Labs sampled like strings and stuff. I was trying to see what I could get away with in MIDI and samples.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to ask you too, Peter. Have you messed around anything with that Melodyne stuff where you can actually take apart stereo mixes?
I mean, maybe 15 years ago, when I was still at Universal. Yeah. But no.
Yeah, because when I saw the demo at NAMM, I couldn't believe it. They put a Beatles track in there. It says, "Okay, let's take George Harrison out and replace it with Aretha Franklin." It's like, what?
Well, now that AI has arrived, right? We're going to see all sorts of shit like that.
Oh yeah, that's pretty amazing. But,
I
yeah,
saw Ringo Starr yakking away on Facebook. I think it was yesterday. That they have a new release coming out, the Beatles, and it's not AI's version of John Lennon singing. It's a song that apparently he sang on a cassette. And they're going to extract that, and they have all these good ways now to do real forensics and really clean up crap.
yeah. Even the latest Stones release, I remember it's got Charlie Watson. He's dead, right? So
yeah, but he hasn't been dead 50 years or whatever. John Lennon.
well, we're not sure about that, but okay. Well, how are we doing on the downloads there, Steve?
Still the same as before. So I don't seem to. There's one that Mickey was trying to send, but I haven't received it for whatever reason. So everything else I have, but
Okay.
not that particular one. I looked in the spam folder, looked in how Gmail is. You got 3 different categories, and it doesn't seem to show up anywhere.
Huh.
And I also looked in the other email, and it's not there either. So I don't know what.
Well, we'll see what happens with it either way. Okay, well, we've got a few songs to listen to, so Steve, why don't you go ahead and take it over from here?
Okay. You want to be the hosting back then, or? Let's see. Am I the host now, Jimmy? You're muted, Jimmy.
I just saw a notification that you're the host, Stephen.
Oh, okay, good. Let's see. Give me 1 moment here, guys. I just got this other thing in here. Okay. All right. So, step 1. Share my screen. So first up, we'll have, let's see. Elise Keel, and this is called So Caught Up. And let me bring up the lyrics here real quick.
And again, Peter, you can just kind of wave your hand or whatever to let us know that you've heard enough. So.
Do you know you're the love of my life, the sweetest thing to me? Gonna lie here all day with you, loving you endlessly. Wrap you up in these arms of mine, kiss your body a million times, love you like rain pouring
Dang! What a lovely voice you have.
Actually, it's not my voice. No, I would not sound anything like that.
Well,
That's why that's why I have to only play songs. Not that I'm like working on, but that I've had a singer come in and sing.
well, she has a nice voice, but the song is really good. I love the imagery of the hook.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so just go ahead and comment on it.
I thought the production of it was really quite good. You know, I liked how you entered and the harmony come in. What the second piece?
Yeah.
That was kind of good. You know, the things build make it far more interesting to listen to.
Well, thank you. I did the production on it too, so
Well, you get a gold star.
thank you. Appreciate it. All right.
What else you got up your sleeve there, Stephen?
Okay, so next up we have Jason Trachtenberg, and
I remember him.
yeah, the song is called "I Really Love You." Let's see. So, share my screen. Go.
All she lives for is conversation. Darling, gonna make a sacrifice to persuade by some persuasion. All you live by is intuition. Gonna make it through this calendar year by the light of the sun and the moon. I really love you tonight. I really love you tonight. I really love you. I love you. I really love you tonight. I really need you right now. I really need you and how. I really love you. I love you. I really love you tonight. Alls I know are complications, village idiots, manifestation. Liberty, where's my apparent end? Got a little bit of light there to see. Who will be my true torchbearer? I really love you tonight. I really love you tonight. I really love you. I love you. I really love you tonight. I really need you right now. I really need you. Wow. I really love you. I want you. I really love you tonight. I wrote this down tonight. I need to let you know. Reality was tight, a little bit unknown. There was an empty space inside. I thought about the past and what I left behind. That's right, next time I'll live until I die. I really love you tonight. I really love you tonight. I really love you. I love you. I really love you tonight.
So before I step in my dick again, Jason, was that you singing?
I'm singing the lead vocals, and my friend Kyle's on the background vocals.
What fun. If I make my first observation, though, actually my first two observations was the intro was like a year and a half. I went out and had a beer and a bean sandwich before the first verse happened. Got to cut that down.
I was trying to find the edited version, but I couldn't find it, which does have a shorter intro. So I know I agree completely. What that's worth.
And the other thing that was driving me nuts until the rest of the instrumentation came in is the freaking piano is so out of tune. I mean, it sounds like a bar room piano. And I don't know if that was part of the mystique one was going for. I didn't catch that in the lyric, that there was any, allusion to a need for an out of tune acoustic piano.
In the fifth verse. So we didn't get to the fifth verse, but there's we talk about the out of tune piano in the fifth verse. I'm kidding. No, they at the studio they said they tuned it up, but I what can you do?
Oh my God, that's why God gave us MIDI pianos. But otherwise, it was a fun listen. Oh, my only other observation was that the bridge. Well, bridge is usually a pretty, it's like letter C. It's a whole other animal that doesn't really allude to anything. And the second half of the bridge really kind of sounded much more like the choruses. There wasn't all that, novel sonically, or harmonically, I should say, harmonically.
Thanks for making it through as far as you did. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I want to listen to all the way to the bridge. I mean, that's everything. We can omit the guitar solo, if there was one. I don't know. What else you got there, Brother Stephen?
Get myself out of mute here. Next up, we have John Bernard. This is a song called "What a Shame."
What a shame, quel dommage, je ne sais pas, explain. C'est la pluie, it's the rain. What a shame, what must I do? Que dois-je faire? La retrouver telle qu'elle était. What a shame, elle est partie de ma chanson, elle est partie, reviendra-t-elle? Will she ever tell me never? It's the rain, what a shame. Reviendra-t-elle? Jamais sans elle. If she's gone, well, she's gone. What a shame. La pluie s'efface quand le soleil paraît. Un arc-en-ciel pour elle et moi. What a shame. Quel dommage. Je ne sais pas, what a shame.
Bravo.
How do you say thank you in French? I don't know. Merci, merci, merci.
Merci buckets. I was going to say, all the bilingual thing there, is this for jukeboxes in Quebec?
Well, I'm hoping, if somebody does a documentary, let's say on the burning of Notre Dame or something, they go, hey, let's use that song. I don't know.
Well, it's sweet, and I love the lyric. but just
Yeah.
was curious the back and forth in the language. No.
By the way, are you familiar with Wilmer Alexander and the Dukes?
Oh, of course.
Very cool, very cool. I
How
thought
did
you would.
how did you pull that out of your hat?
Oh, I grew up with that stuff. I'm from Olean, which is way south of you.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they used to come down and play there. It was a thrill when they came to town. Big deal back then.
Yeah.
Back then.
I grew up in Rochester, New York there.
That's right. That's right.
And I got a huge introduction to R&B and soul music and stuff. That wasn't like, a particularly right place for people of color, shall we say, but there was some great music,
Oh yeah.
R&B soul thing there.
That's right. It's got a great tradition up there. Buffalo, Rochester area, wonderful tradition of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it wasn't
And-
reflected in that song, but I also grew up in the bars doing all that back then.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it's a fertile ground for good musicians because it's so freaking cold. You stay in the house and practice.
That's right. I used to go out on a break and have a cigarette. My collar would freeze. So,
Too funny.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks.
Yeah.
If you ever hear of anybody who needs a French song, call me.
Celine Dion needs one, I think.
Yeah. Is she coming back though? That's the problem. I don't know.
Okay. Next up, we have Pierre Engelbert, and the song is called Final.
Before it's my turn, I had a quick comment because as a native French speaker, I'm glad to review the French lyrics if you want, because some of it was a bit off, both in grammar and translation. If you want to send them to me, I'll be very glad to edit, just to let you know.
The gentleman is saying it's from Paris, so you have to take it up with him.
No.
The poor people all around the world, they want your money, yes they do. The hungry people all over the world, there's not enough for them and you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? The homeless people all around the world, they want your house and your car too. The dirty people all over the world, they wanna take a bath with you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they get in with you? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? To displace people all around the world, if they can come up here, they will. People at war all over the world, they run away from getting killed. What's it got to do? What's it got to do? Got to do with you? Free people all afraid to talk, they would enjoy your rule of law. Those with low life expectancy want to get old like you and me. Aren't you scared to know? Aren't you scared to know where this world will go?
There's not enough for them and
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Great.
Thank you.
Love the whimsy in the storyline. I also enjoyed the modulation and having the children come in there for the. I guess I forget if that was the last chorus or
The last verse, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
it was nice. It had. I mean, it was so quirky the lyric, but it really was enjoyable. I really enjoyed listening to that.
Thank you.
Hey, next up we have Roland Vega.
All right.
And this is called Tell Me Your Name.
There are moments when we're captured by surprise, like a painting on the wall or just a baby's cry. This is something that just happened, so insane. I don't know, I don't care, just tell me your name. Tell me your Tell me your It's a never-ending whisper in my ear, and it's telling me I will follow you today. If it takes the rest of days. Tell me your name. Tell me your name. Tell me your name. Tell me your name. Just tell me your name. When I look into your eyes, every time it's a surprise. Tell me your Tell me your Tell me your
Unmute myself. Sorry about that. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Brother Steve, I have a quick question. That to me here was full mono. I don't know if that was the mix or is that
That's a stereo. That's then stereo. So
I just played the file I had, and I didn't change anything relative to the other songs.
That's okay. You could still hear plenty of good dimension in there, but
Okay.
I could guess that, with the delays and stuff, it was, it was meant to be heard more 3D than what I was hearing.
I see. Okay.
But at any rate, it was the production was really quite good.
Thank you.
Very much enjoyed the the way the things built.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
It was a good thing.
I just that's part of this new album I released. It's the first one I released in like 8 years. So that's one of the songs.
Slacker.
Huh?
You slacker.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's great. Obviously, you're waiting for the iron to strike, right? You have for the.
Yeah.
That didn't sound like you singing there, Roland. That's you singing?
Yeah.
That's you?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
What do you do when you're not releasing records like this?
I'm a illustrator. So I do just graphic design and stuff like that, but I'm getting ready to retire from that. So put a little more time into music.
I've heard of this.
Jimmy's played on a couple of my tracks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Good stuff.
Good lad.
That was done on Logic Pro.
I'm very illogical.
Oh.
I used to use Pro Tools, but I haven't in probably 12 years. Because in mastering, the workstation I use is called Sonic Solutions. And
okay.
It has spectacular features about it, but of course, like anything that is spectacular, the company's going away.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah.
The support is just a joke.
Oh, wow.
But I love the sound and, don't really want to anxious to go to something that doesn't sound as good, but I'm sure I will.
Thank you so much. I put my my link on there if anybody wants to listen to it on the chat.
Oh.
The whole album's on there.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay. Next up we have Stephen Paul Medeiros. It's called Some Heart Never Heal. Share the screen.
The call came in, the end was here. Your tender soul drifted in the wind, like broken glass in an antique mirror. Your treasured life met a tragic end. How could all this love be taken? I hoped your heart could be mended. Goodbye, my friend. Goodbye, my friend. I prayed that love could save your heart. You stood strong even in the dark, as love poured from your broken heart. Goodbye, my friend. Goodbye, my friend. I prayed that love would save your heart. You stood strong even in the dark, as love poured from your broken heart. This life for you was just too hard. Some hearts never heal. Some hearts never heal.
Hey, very nice.
Thank you.
And that violin player really stole the show. I love that too.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, she's in your part of the world now. She's in LA. You're in LA, I assume. Are you?
Yeah, I am. What's her name?
Eva Scow. Eva Scow. Yeah.
I don't recognize it, but that doesn't mean anything. I used to do a lot of recording of strings, but haven't done anything like that in 20 years. So. But lyrically, very, very nice, and the production, the arrangement really was really solid, really, really nice.
Cool. Great. Yeah, that's a remix of the original track. The original track, I sing backup vocals on the chorus, and that I released that track last fall, and then I remixed this for sync with, you know, some just female only with some female harmony in the back. I thought it might work for sync.
You know, you brought up something that I recently shared with some more indie folks, and that is, you know, when you're releasing all these onesie-twosie singles, you know, they told me that at one point we're gonna release all these things as singles, and then we're gonna release them again as an album. And I thought, well, there's not a lot of motivation necessarily to go buy the album if people have already bought the freaking single. So consider doing like an alternate version of one of these things. Like maybe it has a guest artist who comes and does, you know, from the second verse on with you, or you have an extended arrangement, like a long solo or a repeat of the intro, or, you know what I mean, just something to make it more desirable to buy the album, because if you liked the original version, you're probably going to like this kind of thing, you know, make it
this is going to go on an album, and I've released 3 singles that are going to go on an album of 10 or 12. So I thought about doing that, and I have alternate mixes of those songs. So
yeah, I think that's, you know, it's a little bit of a, you know, bait the hook kind of thing to get people to buy it a second time, but just make it a little more desirable, I guess.
Great, thank you.
That's my 5 cents.
Awesome.
Senor Steve.
Yes. Let's see. Make sure I'm not muted. Okay, very good. Next up, we've got, we finally got the pencil song from, let's see. Is it from Mikey, is it? Anyway, here it comes. If I can get that thing up. And we have a few more after that, so.
And also be sure to check your chat there, Steve.
Yeah, I know. I got the message from Zena there. Yeah, and so yeah, I'll deal with that. Let me get this one going here.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, Jason also said he gave you an invite for a party in New York. So.
Okay.
Listen, I've got me a crazy idea. Let's go back to where we'd begun. We'll trace all those born at the same time, the same place, find out what they've all become. The housewife, the banker, our mother will thank her for trading her life for our own. Trading her life for our own. Now think way back to your crib days, your nursery door held in your sobs. Back then, your greatest aspiration was to reach up and rotate the knob. Your stretching and pining just led you to whining. You weren't quite up to the job. Weren't quite up to the job. Geez, get a load of that pencil. My, how they're making them tall. All of my life I've known writing utensils. Perhaps I don't know them at all. The writing has grown, all the ignorance shown. It's funny how people grow small. Funny how people grow small. Funny how people grow small. It's funny how people grow.
Small.
A bonus there.
Good stuff.
Much appreciated. That was not the messy track.
I'm sorry,
That was not the track that was a mess that I referenced earlier.
That
one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it was good.
Much appreciated.
The only comment I would have had was just that, because lyrically, I think it's really fascinating. I love the bit about reaching up for the knob to get the hell out of here.
That's a true story. That's me at the age of 8 months.
Oh, I love that.
Oh.
How do you remember those things?
I don't know. That
You
is
had the pencil and you wrote it down. That's all.
as clear as if it was last week. I remember trying to get that thing, and I don't know why I remember that, but my mom said, you were only 8 or 9 months old when that happened. So there you go.
That's good. Production-wise, the only thing I thought was a little unwieldy was the instrumental break. Was arguably too long.
Okay.
I would trim that back to here. But it was a fun listen, and I thought the lyrics really were cool.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, and we like weird.
Somebody's got a hand raised.
It's Pierre, I think.
Pierre has his hand raised.
You can unmute yourself, and then also.
I'm sorry, just to say goodbye. I gotta go, unfortunately, but I really appreciate a lovely evening. Thanks for all the feedback.
Thank you very much for being here, Pierre. You rock. And then also Roland and Zan, if you could mute yourselves, because it's kicking in every now and then when there's noises being made. Thank you.
Okay. Next up is Zana. Zana, you sent me 3 songs. Which one do you want to play? I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything.
I heard an
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I heard.
Is there a song?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah.
I am so sorry. This has been a very, it's been a crazy day. And I think I wrote in the message, I was attacked by a homeless person, and I'm a little shaken
Oh dear.
And I haven't had a chance to really compose myself and come home yet, really. So I'm standing outside of a grocery store, but I didn't want to miss this opportunity. So
There's Mission to Mars, Ghost Notes,
yes,
and Talk About Movie. Which one do you want to play?
Ghost Notes, I think.
Okay. Give me a moment to prepare everything here.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm a little traumatized.
I can understand why. Are you okay, hon?
Yeah.
I am okay. It was the whole thing with the police, and yeah, I'm just a little shaken still. But I'm so happy that I made it.
We are too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm going to.
Sounds like song materials, Anna.
Yeah. Hi.
There you are. There you are. Let's see. You did some lyrics, right?
What part of the world do you live in there, Zana?
I'm in Santa Monica, believe it or not.
Oh dear.
So am I, Donna.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're probably neighbors. Yeah, right.
This happened right on 15th and Wilshire.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's not good.
Out of the Bank of America.
Yikes. Okay, I have everything now. It's just a matter of, let me share the screen and then.
I've had to.
Minutes turn into hours, light turns into darkness, day to night. Where'd you go? So in love with the melody, I never thought you would ever leave. Who's still gone? And if you only heard the verse, can you really tell it hurts? By the time we get to the chorus, if you really love the verse, doesn't matter if it hurts. No, I don't regret the lows, but the lows and highs make the melody of a song that will never die. The crowd gets stuck on a hold, no, not me. I love those little ghost notes you don't hear the months in between. Hours turn into days and days, turn into weeks and months and years. Don't let us fade. You can leave me but love me for the good things. Even if all is gone, I'm gonna just a blink. Don't throw it away. 'Cause if you only heard the verse, can you really tell it hurt? By the time we get to the chorus, if you really love the verse, doesn't matter if it hurts. I know I don't regret the lows, but the lows and highs
Yeah.
Oops. Were you able to open the lyric sheet?
For some reason, the file, when I tried to open it, it kept, I had it for a minute there and it just kept going away. I don't know what happened to it, but sorry about that. I was trying like 3 or 4 different things to get it up again, and it just didn't come
It
through.
was really enjoyable, and I think we got the idea of the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the lyrics were really clever, so I'm sorry that you couldn't open them, but yeah.
But I loved what you did with your voice sort of consolidating the melody to a small register, and then when you went up into the chorus, I guess is where you went up in the head voice and you went up an octave, and
Yeah.
sounded great.
Thank you. Yeah, the hook is just I don't regret the lows, both the lows and highs make the melody of a song that will never die. The crowds get stuck on the hook, but not me. I love those little ghost notes that you don't hear, the ones in between.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much.
Are you releasing these at some point somewhere?
Well, our sync person, Stephen Scharf, he advised us to not release it yet because we were hoping to get us a sync placement for them, and right now none of that is happening. So I'm going to release the one that's in the email called Mission to Mars as a single, just because I feel like we should be releasing music no matter what. But yeah, not the whole album yet. We hope to get something happening with it before.
Yeah, these strikes. I mean, you got the writers' strike kind of together. So hopefully the actor strike will fall into place, and we can get back into making content.
Yes, I really hope so. But I got an email the other day, somebody saying, but there's still YouTube, there's still entertainment being watched. So maybe there's other things we can jump on or something.
Well, you've got a good thing here, so keep it up.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm really sorry. Hope you get your wits about you again after this episode you went through.
Yeah, I feel like, I was so, woo. But I decided this is not going to get me off my path. So thank you so much for still playing my song. I really appreciate it. I'll definitely join the next one as well.
All right. Yes.
And I love the music I heard playing before. Unfortunately, don't remember the names, but really nice songs. So
Thank you.
Hi,
Steve,
Jimmy. How are you?
Yeah, doing okay, Zana. Zana's been a friend for a long time. I met her at MI when I was kind of teaching there a little bit, and she moved here. Where'd you move from? You moved here from Sweden. Yes.
Yeah.
And she's been pursuing the dream ever since. And it's been really awesome to watch how she's progressed all along all these years. So it's really good. Steve mentioned that there is one here.
There's mine, and then there's Rich's if you want to play it.
Okay. Maybe we can play it at the end, because I know he checks the YouTube afterwards, because he's got to work sometimes late. Those are the only ones that we got left, huh?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Everything else we have.
Okay.
All right. So this one's mine. It's called Always Be Young.
Now we're talking.
In a wetsuit, her shape looks nice. Smiles from a surfboard with a touch of spice. This runaway girl rides the wave. Her small town roots in the grave. It's morning in Venice. On Venice Beach, those demons of time don't come here. they just drift away on the sand. They can't stay. I'll always be young. I'll always be young. On Venice Beach, I'll always be young. Indian lady, a smile so elegant, chats on the pier with her English gent. Pelicans dive for a meal. Skateboarders whisk by to steal a morning in Venice. I'll always be young on Venice Beach. Those demons of time don't come here. They just drift away on the sand. They can't stay. I'll always be young. I'll always be young on Venice Beach. I'll always be young. Tattooed girl, high heels, short skirt. Boyfriend complains she's a flirt at the Muscle Beach workouts. It's morning in Venice. I'll always be young on Venice Beach. Those demons of time don't come here. They just drift away on the sand. They can't stay. I'll always be young. I'll always be young on Venice Beach. I'll always be young. I'll always be young. I'll always be young on Venice Beach. I'll always be young.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that one was, I remember the first winter I was here, I was on that pier in Venice Beach looking back at snow-capped peaks, and it was about 65 or 70 degrees. And I thought, I've never lived in a place like this, you know. So that was the inspiration for that one.
Nice. I saw Nashville Tracks were on the
Yes.
credit there.
Right, right. Travis Allen and group, yes.
Yeah, I used to do some work with them 15 years ago or more.
Mhm.
Glad to see they're still around.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
The song was really nice.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, Leon just texted me or messaged me. He said that his song was submitted, and I'm looking at the email, and yeah, he did submit that.
What's the name of it?
Leon, it should be in there somewhere. Leon Johnson. The song is called Gravity, and should be in there.
Okay.
See you, Roland.
Just keep looking for it there, and while he's looking, yeah, usually Marilee sends something. Marilee, you didn't send anything in this time?
No, I was with John on John's song.
Okay,
Yeah, we just brought in one.
all right.
Thank you.
You know what email I sent it to, Jimmy?
Leon, why don't you unmute and talk to Steve here? Where's Leon at? He was up a second ago. There he is.
Okay. So, stand by. It was sent to showcase at SongNet.
Oh, that one. Okay, let's see. Hold on here. And what was the name of it?
Gravity.
Gravity. I remember that. Yeah, let's see. All right, let's see.
As the title.
Yeah, I know sometimes our email doesn't forward correctly, so we get that.
Yeah. Send it to the other email, I guess, SongNet Showcase at Gmail, because I'm just not finding it. Let me see.
Okay.
I've got a lot of people who said send me the link, but I don't have any music in any of these emails.
SongNet Showcase.
It's SongNet Showcase, SONGNET, SongNet Showcase.
Yeah, right.
At gmail.com.
Right.
That's the default email that's supposed to forward to when we send the showcase it, but it doesn't go through sometimes.
Well, the other email is the one that's more problematic. Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you for your patience there, Peter. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Peter.
After this, it's going to be bedtime early for me because I have to be at UCLA at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Westwood.
Okay. Yeah, also tomorrow is jazz night at Kulak's. If you want to go back to that Kulak's thing on Facebook. They've got, because you remember Vitello's, right?
Sure.
Vitello's Jazz Club. So they got bought and they're gone.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're gone now. So one of the bookers said, hey, well, Kulak's is just up the street. Why don't we check it out? And so now they're booking every Thursday for jazz. So you get to see that cool, 9 camera shoot with jazz going on. It's pretty cool.
How big a group can they actually get on that stage?
I think I've got the record for that with my 2 for night thing. Every second every second Tuesday of the month, I have my own show there. I don't even get to play because everybody's booking it, but everybody gets 2 songs. And this one Latin band came in, and this girl says, "Oh well, I've got a pianist and a percussionist." Okay, and then all of a sudden she brought in this 9-piece band with 5 dancers. It was crazy. Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like Steve's got Leon's stuff up, so let's hear it.
All right.
No more hiding, no more fighting for my proper and running away from who I was meant to be. No more waiting, and no more clinging, and no more swinging from the branches of poverty. Oh, I gotta fly. I'm gonna fly into the darkness, break away gravity, flying in the stars tonight. Break away gravity, rise up and be who I was meant to be. I'm a queen.
Weird. Okay.
All right.
I mean, I'm playing it off of my computer, not off of Zoom.
Yeah. Okay. Well, unmute Peter again. Let's see what happens. There you go.
They are here.
Okay. So you really hear the gist of it, I guess. For some reason, it stopped streaming. We don't know why. Yeah, and it's not a stream either, which is really weird. I know Steve loaded it.
I downloaded it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, yeah. Let me try to get it in there. Yeah.
God is punishing us for trying to play an MP3.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, it seems to not want to cooperate here. Let me try to start.
Break away
There we go.
gravity, flying in the stars tonight. Break away gravity, rise up and be who I was meant to be. I'm a queen, you're a king. We're royal family. Come on, break away from gravity, flying in the stars tonight. Flying in the stars tonight.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Production-wise, that was a fun listen. Although I got to say that it was a sample of the strumming acoustic guitar thing that was so washy that just it didn't add much to the arrangement, I didn't think. But that girl singing was great. And I'm not hearing anything. Is it me?
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. We hear you, yeah.
Yeah. Leon, do you want to say anything or?
Maybe it was me.
Leon got muted all of a sudden. You can unmute, Leon. Still muted.
Yes, I agree with that assessment.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to go over there and put some real guitar down there, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Gotta get you over here, Jimmy.
Absolutely. And yeah, Tina's got a killer voice for sure, so.
Absolutely.
I know there was, for me, mix-wise, the contrast between the acoustic guitars and then the bass break. I really wanted to sort of hear how it translated, you know, here. And it did a little something that I didn't expect, which was, you know, it brings up the question of controlling that kind of contrast of, yeah, I want to have an 808 and I want to have my acoustic guitars and I want to make them both work. So this is one example of something I was working towards.
Yeah, that was the kind of thing that we used to do a lot when I was working with Stacey Q's guys. So, old school with acoustic.
Great engineers like Humberto.
The vibe was great. Really achieved that.
Yeah. Thank you.
You got something else up your sleeve there, Stephen?
Last one, Rich Marquetta. This is called Bonnie and Clyde Revisited. Rich is not here. Jimmy, you want to play this one, right?
Yeah, go ahead and play it anyway, real quick.
Yeah, okay.
Because I know he's going to be on Zoom or on YouTube and listening to it.
Right, right, exactly. So, let's see.
Mad dog pump crazy in love in 33. Highway abusers and robberies. Bonnie and Clyde. You know, Ford V8s were in their company cars. Trouble was, it took them way too far. Bonnie and Clyde. True love shall last a long time too, but those photogenic tags help the coppers serve the blues. They were suitcase packing with some frisky 32s, 80 proof beds, and dosage of delinquent attitudes. Bonnie and Clyde. You know, Ford V8s were in their company cars. Trouble was, it could really only take them so far. Bonnie
Pursuit.
And that's good fun right there. I really like that one.
Boy, that's a hellacious combo. Banjo and mandolin.
No risk, no reward.
That's funny. And I got to admit, I'm not that much of a lyric guy, but it's some of I couldn't quite figure out what some of the verses were trying to say. A suitcase full of 32s. Are those like handguns, or are they 32-ounce bottles of something or other?
Yeah, that's a good question, and we should ask him that next time there, Steve.
I think they're handgun.
Well, the 38s are more of a handgun.
Yeah.
32s are kind of like, I don't know.
What is it?
32s are more like, 32-ounce bottle of whatever. So
Yeah, right. And there was another line in there. Can you put the lyrics back up for a second? Or do you have to go into another mode here to do that?
Well, I got to share screen, but that's okay. It just takes a moment. Okay, so. Okay, that goes away.
True love should last a long time too, but those photogenic tags, what?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have any idea what that line is about? Oh, there's the suitcase.
Yeah.
Whiskey 32s and 80 proof meds. Again, that sounds like
drink. Yeah.
Sounds like alcohol.
Yeah.
And Ford V8s were in their company cars.
Mm-hmm.
Company.
They were known for stealing only those. So
I got those, but the company is Bonnie and Clyde Incorporated, or what?
I guess, yeah.
Well, anyway,
that's right. Yeah.
That's good.
This is a problem when you actually get to read the lyrics that you find.
But that's good because you're speaking as a person who doesn't necessarily write lyrics, and you're seeing this and not quite getting it, and that's something that's important for Rich to know.
Yeah. Well.
So appreciate that very, very much.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, any last questions, thoughts, or anything else?
Go Lakers.
Yeah, just in case anybody wants to save the chat, at the very bottom of the chat, next to the little smiley face, there's 3 dots. You click on that and you can save the chat if you want to save any links or anything. Peter, the best way to contact you is on your website. Would that be correct?
That's fine, yeah.
Okay.
So I put that in the chat?
Sure, or do you want to leave that? Well, I put that on the write-up for you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In the chat also, and also an email if you want to put that, or just a web address, either one.
Yeah.
I see Mikey's got his white Hofner up in his background now.
Actually, I changed rooms. I was at the other end of the house, and my wife is serving dinner, so I had to log off on that computer and jump over here.
Yeah.
So I have to play in the back because she thinks I'm nuts playing all night.
Okay.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you,
You got it.
Steve. And
Thank you so much, Peter. Really,
Jimmy.
it's a long haul. There's a lot of stuff to listen to.
Seriously, Mr. Odell, this is just getting some learned ears is pretty invaluable. So much appreciated.
My very great pleasure.
Hmm.
And it's Dell, not Odell.
Oh, sorry, Dell. I've got the Irish stuck in me.
I know. And in the month of December, I will allow the pronunciation to be Doell.
Wah, 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 wah.
But I'm just, here's who said it.
All right.
Well, good stuff. And you guys are onto a really good thing with the Songwriters Network. I think that's a really,
Thank you.
Again, it's a community where you can help one another. And that's a really valuable resource, I think.
We know a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're able to share a lot of good stuff, and including gigs and things. And of course, our live in-person showcase is on the 18th. So again, email Steve, showcase@songnet.info to make sure you've got that. Reserve spot for that. It'll be a really good one. And the Urban Homestead's always a great place, outdoors. So, it's still relatively COVID safe. And we've got the heaters up now so that if it does get cold, it's all good. If not, still plenty of air there. So that's pretty much it. So once again, Peter, we really appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Peter Doell. Yay.
I gave you each a moment to save the chat there, and I'll disconnect from the YouTube thing. But yeah, because I just got.
Oh, I hate to interrupt. I have to say this in front of everybody else, but Jimmy, I gave you a plug today.
Oh.
I was giving my son a little tour down at USC, and I happened to walk into one of the sound stages. I was at the cinema school at USC, and somebody recognized me from the Phineas and Ferb stuff. And somebody, they were doing some scoring, and somebody said, "Who do you recommend for kind of networking with songwriters?" And I said, "Aha!" I said, "There's this fellow called Yamagishi. You got to look him up." So there you are.
Well, thank you.
So, you know what? Is that the website behind you? SongNet.org?
TheSongnet.org. Yes.
The email you sent me earlier was SongNet.info.
Yes. SongNet.info.
Okay, so that is correct.
There's a complicated story behind that because the domain name got lost at one point in time.
I see.
And so songnet.info got, that was the sort of replacement. I put it in the chat, by the way.
Okay.
And if you go to our homepage, it tells you where the showcase is in Pasadena, just north of the freeways there. And a cute little venue, which is basically an organic farm in somebody's household. So it's in the back part of that. So any other questions, comments, Jimmy?
I think that's about it. So once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, Peter, we'll see you for lunch. Have a good one.
Okay.
All right,
everybody.
Thanks all.
Have a great one.
Good night.